Hey everyone, Andrew back for another Barista Basics video. Now before we get into today's video, I just want to apologize real quick for the craziness of my hair. It looks even more crazy than usual. I went swimming earlier today and I just got home, so I've yet to take a shower and resolve this issue, so I just wanted to apologize if I look a little busted. Not that that's really important, but I felt the need to say that. Anyways, we can go ahead and get into today's topic, which, as we can tell from the title, is basically how to handle difficult customers or essentially resolve customer complaints. Now, this is something that I've had a lot of personal experience with, of course, working in, sort of retail, more customer forward roles, and literally every single job I've had at this point. Well, except for an internship I had. But besides that, everything else has been pretty much very customer forward. And obviously, when you're dealing with customers a lot, there are a lot of issues that come up that need to be resolved. So I thought that, kind of in the same theme of kind of doing like these how-tos regarding like, sort of more personnel, person-to-person interaction problems, this would be an appropriate topic as well. So essentially, I have come up with, after lots of ruminating and thinking, 4, easier said than done steps that can help you sort of resolve customer complaints and hopefully have the customer leave in a more satisfied state than they entered your establishment with. So the first step of these is simply to listen to the customer. Now, the kind of listening you do is very important. Attentive listening is very key. It is one thing if a customer is explaining to you something that they have a problem with and you're just there like, yeah, okay, like rolling your eyes or whatever. That's not very productive, and it doesn't really set a good tone for the rest of your conversation. Whereas if you're listening to the customer, you're maintaining eye contact, you're nodding, you're saying, yeah, I understand, I hear what you're saying, whatever. That obviously shows the customer that you're listening to them and that you actually care about whatever problem it is they're facing. So listening to their plight with an open mind is definitely important. Even if you sort of know that the customer is in the wrong, at least hearing them out, obviously with things that can be listened to, like a customer trying to argue with you about needing to wear a mask, that's something that's not questionable, obviously, because it's literally, an executive order, a temporary law. So that's something that can't really be debated. But other things, it's important to hear their side of the story, of course, since they're the one with the complaint. And like I said, that comes with being an attentive and active listener. So yeah, the first step, pretty simple, just listen. Keep an open mind, kind of, I guess. The second step is to try to diffuse the situation. So basically, this step, is more or less, its importance can kind of vary depending on how the customer approaches this interaction. So if the customer comes up and, they're stamping their feet and they're very, visibly, clearly upset, diffusing the situation is going to be very useful. However, if the customer comes up to you and, they're being really tame and, quite respectful and everything, then you may not necessarily need to diffuse the situation. So this step is a little more negotiable. But I guess this video kind of more focuses on the difficult customers. You don't really need to make a video or talk about something like this for an easy customer. These guidelines are more so meant for customers that are giving you a hard time. So with that said, diffusing the situation essentially means, really in this case, it would mean not escalating the situation anymore. So it wouldn't be like antagonizing the customer in any way, or actually, yeah, honestly, basically that. Just, being respectful towards the customer, not trying to catch an attitude, watching your tone, and word choice is very important here. Because obviously that just comes with good customer service, is not, you can be feeling however you feel about the customer on the inside, but not letting that show really is very telling of how good you are with customer relations and customer service, etc. So diffusing the situation, again, like I said, by watching your tone and making sure you don't have an attitude when you're talking with the customer is very important. Because, if a customer is already sort of agitated, you adding to their agitation is certainly not going to help resolve the situation, clearly. Oh my God, my hair is crazy. Gosh, sorry. I just keep on looking at all the frizz like, what is happening? But yes, so listen attentively, actively, try to diffuse the situation. Then the third step is to offer suggestions. So you've listened to the customer's plight, you've maybe, placated them just a little bit by showing you actually care about their problem, that you're listening to them, and that you're being respectful with them, using a respectful tone, etc. Now, you can go ahead and offer suggestions that would remedy the customer's issue. So say, for example, and obviously I'm going to be using Starbucks as an example because that is the information that I can readily, sort of recall, since that's what I'm doing currently. But say, for example, a customer comes in and they order a drink and, let's just go with that. So they come in, they order a drink, they're waiting a while, whatever. They get the drink and it's not quite right. And maybe they're not in the best mood already, and they come up to you all huffing and puffing, I waited 10 minutes for this drink and this is ridiculous and this drink is wrong, etc., etc. What you can do is offer some suggestions to obviously remedy that issue. So you could be like, I'm so sorry that happened. Can we make you another drink? That probably would be the most useful and probably the most often used sort of suggestion. But also Starbucks has this thing where they offer you, basically, we call them recovery cards, and they're worth $4 towards your next visit. It's like an actual little card. So that would also be a suggestion too. If the customer is just really dissatisfied and they're in a big hoorah and they don't even want their drink remade or whatever, you can be at least, you can offer them that recovery card and be so sorry that, this experience did not meet your expectations this time. We're going to try harder in the future, whatever sort of, however you want to phrase that. Here's a $4 recovery card that you can use towards your next Starbucks visit. Please accept this and accept our sincerest apologies, whatever. So things like that obviously are very useful because the suggestions that you make are actually how the customer will, basically that's how you remedy the situation. Sort of these other, the first two steps were kind of the why of the situation. The offering suggestion step is how you're going to fix the situation. And that leads us into our last step, which is finally resolve. So this is, so you offer the suggestions, the customer tells you whatever option they'd prefer, and you actually execute that order. So, if that's making the drink again, or if it's substituting it for some sort of bakery item or something, or giving them a $4 recovery card, or, anything that you find appropriate that would remedy the situation within reason, this is when you would actually execute that. And of course, obviously the aim here is to have the customer, like I said in the beginning, leave in a better state of mind and emotional state than they either entered the establishment with or had sort of gained during their time in the store. And so this is, of course, so say, for example, it's you offer them this recovery card and they're like, that's fine. You give them the recovery card, you're again, so sorry that this happened. We really appreciate you, your patience with us, you bearing with us, and we appreciate your continued support. I hope you have a good day, and thank you again. Hopefully we'll see you soon. So essentially, resolving is executing the order and then also making sure that the transition out of the interaction or out of the conversation is, what's the word? It's not detrimental. It helps the situation. You can do all the other steps right and even give the customer, the suggestion, whatever remedies their problem. But if sorry, I'm getting bit. But if, the customer's leaving, you're okay, well, have a nice day. And, and then you catch an attitude right at the end, that can possibly instigate another problem. Or if the customer just brushes it off, they're still going to have a bad taste in their mouth, either regarding you or the establishment. So resolving and making sure that things basically end on good terms is super key as well. And yeah, so that's actually it. I guess I can just do a quick little overview. The first step is to listen to the customer actively and attentively, then moving into diffusing the situation by utilizing proper tone, checking your attitude, using proper word choice. Then moving into the third step, offering suggestions, actual physical acts that you can do that will alleviate the customer's problem or at least make them feel better. Then finally, the fourth step is resolve, which is where you execute the action and make sure the interaction ends on a good note. And that's it. Obviously, these tips are easier said than done, especially when a customer is super, super upset, but you know, you can only do so much, right? So at least if you tried your hardest, and if the customer even leaves like 1% in a better mood than how they, you know, kind of entered or got during their time there, you've succeeded. So it's obviously not easy, and it comes with a lot of practice. Kind of getting a thick skin, I think, really helps too, because, you know, some customers really do try to get under your skin and even say some like personal stuff to you. So it's just a little hard, but of course it comes with practice. So I hope that you found these tips useful. I hope that you will actually use them in, you know, any sort of customer forward role. Honestly, these suggestions are really just for conflict management, I guess. So you could even utilize these for interpersonal problems, like between you and your friends, or you and your family, you and your significant other, whatever. Yeah, so anyways, I just hope you found the advice useful, and yeah, I hope you actually will, well, ideally, you wouldn't need to utilize this advice, but if you ever do need it, I hope that it comes in handy, essentially. But with all that said, I do appreciate, I was doing so good and I fumbled right at the end. I appreciate you guys for checking the video out. I hope that you were doing well. I hope that you were staying safe and sane, healthy, motivated, and entertained. If you are protesting, I hope that you are staying extra, extra, super duper safe. Please make sure, again, that you have an emergency contact or two that are trustworthy in case things go a little south. And yeah, I just hope that you guys are doing well, and I will see you guys soon for the next Barista Basics video. Everybody's gone to the Rapture. I guess I was planning on filming it last week, but things just keep on coming up, and it's just very not accessible for me at the moment, I guess, regarding like time for me to do that. But I really am trying my hardest, and hopefully there will be a video this week, but I guess I can't make promises at this point. But I can promise you that there will at least be another Barista Basics video next week, and hopefully another Everybody's Gone to the Rapture this week. But until then, I hope that you guys take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.